We are live.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday Sit Down with the Therapeutic Journey. Parenthood, one of the greatest natural gifts that this world has to offer, mother, father, grandparent, adoptive parent, the list goes on and on. The responsibility of a caregiver role in a child's life of any age is not lost on most people. So today we will be discussing many topics surrounding parenthood, such as burnout, self care, and self identity. Allow me to introduce the team. Amber, our founder, Rhea, our social media manager, Shai, our blogging manager, is there in the chat, and me, Andrea Joy. What would you say are some of the foremost challenges that you face as a mother, Amber?
Definitely burnout.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, I will say, is the first and foremost for me specifically. As my children were growing, I was cooking every single meal from scratch. That's prep, everything, the execution, everything. Every single meal from scratch, cleaning everything all day, every single day, teaching them, reading to them, bathing them. Also, being in school, teaching myself, feeding myself, bathing myself, and work, and being a wife, taking care of my husband as well. Burnout.
Yeah, it sounds like you had an
Burnout.
awful lot on your plate.
Burnout, yes, but it can be done because it has to be done. My children never once said, "Hey, birth me." I did what it took to to produce them and birth them, so that is what I chose when I chose to do what I did.
So, to keep yourself invested in all of it through burnout, what do you do?
um, what do I do now as a seasoned mom and knowing more now? What I do is I have to practice self care. I have to force time for myself, and I have to not care what anybody says, the judgments that may or may not come for that, or may all be in my head, whatever. I just have to not care what my self care looks like as long as I get it, and that could be coloring on the stairs drinking coffee. It could be doing my own research for something I'm interested in. It could be meditating. It could just be standing in the shower singing Erica Badu and crying.
Yeah, I feel like everybody should at least take 10 minutes in their day, at least 10 minutes
Mhm.
to yourself every
Mhm.
day and do what you need to do for yourself to keep your sanity.
Mhm.
Definitely
And what you
because when
choose to do is completely different depending on the day, depending on how you
mhm,
feel, depending on what you're doing.
Hmm.
yeah,
It definitely
you,
does.
I can tell you one of my most favorite self care moments is listening to Linkin Park full blast, thrashing and throwing everything around. Stuff that I don't care about. I don't care if it gets broken. I don't care if it doesn't. And then say, hey, kids, let's do it together. We're going to just it
Go
all out.
crazy.
Just go crazy. And
I bet
that,
they enjoy
cha-
that.
yes, that kind of chaos is the best self care because it involves them. They get to let out all those little it's they like to get into everything and they want to
Mhm.
do stuff that is going to tear up your house. So set aside something where they can be destructive but also get out emotions so emotions aren't coming back into the house and we're all yelling at each other out of emotions and causing a rift in our relationship because of frustration.
You could
That's
just call that smash therapy.
Yeah,
yeah, and that's a good
before we
outlet
knew it.
for parents that always feel guilty about doing
Mhm.
things for themselves and not including their kids. Because I know a lot of
Yeah.
parents deal with that. That's a
Oh
great
yeah.
way to do that.
I
Oh yeah.
definitely have that problem with my 1 year old. Every time I go to take a shower or do
Mhm.
anything for myself, I'm going, where's my, I need to make sure she's okay.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And the parent guilt, it doesn't matter how old the child gets, you're always going to feel that. And I have kids now that are two are in high school, well, starting to be in high school, and one's finishing middle school. So at their big ages, I still feel parental guilt. Like planning for my birthday this year, I tried to cancel it 3 times because
Hmm.
one kid wanted to be invited And I was like, oh my God, I can't just do it for myself. But a lot of encouragement from adult women that have had children and haven't had children, reminding me about my own self care, putting myself first in those instances helps, but it's still there and it's still something that I'm right now I want to cry thinking about it. You know, it's gonna be there, but you just have to just again try your hardest to ignore those judgments that may or may not be there, may just be in your head, may not be, but just
Yeah.
put yourself first.
And we could always do a trip later on with the kids. So
And they always have a trip. They have two birthdays in 1 month and one in the later month. There's always something going on. So
yeah.
I don't know why I feel guilty, but I do.
I feel like a lot of us are our own worst critics. And we
Definitely.
are so mean to ourselves in our heads
Mm-hmm.
when the outside world may not be seeing us that way.
Definitely.
Very much so.
Hmm. Is Shy the only one keeping up with chat? Because I have no insights to chat.
Oh, I don't
Mhm.
either.
If anybody has insights to chat, let me know if we need to respond to people.
Oh, I don't either.
Oh wait, click on comments at the top right, and if anybody posts chat, it should come that way.
Okay. Okay. I see it.
Yeah. All right. So let's. I want to ask Rhea,
Oh Lord.
what well for chat for our listeners and our viewers, what is your role when it comes to parenthood?
Okay, so as y'all know, I do not have any children that I have birthed of my own, but I have a lot of god kids. There's 10 of them. Um
10.
and
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
She has a lot of good friends.
Or friends with a lot more than one kid.
Yeah, that too.
um it was just more like whenever we were younger, it was like, oh yeah, I'll be the godparent, da da da. But I mean, my first godchild is by Amber, so all three of her kids are my godchildren, and it was just one of those things where my mom had to sit me down and talk to me about it and be like, you do understand that if something's to happen to her, if nobody's there, you to step up for these kids. So it was just one of those things we had to sit down and talk about. And with you know Amber's past and things that has happened in her past, it wasn't just me at the time that had to make that agreement. It was my mom, because of course we were younger, fresh into being adults. So it was just more or less, my mom was like, if that happens to where we would have to step up, we will step up and do that. With a
I
lot of
don't
my
know. I'm about to cry.
with a
Aw.
lot of my godchildren, I just try to sit down and talk to the parents. Most of their fathers are in the picture, so, and they're with the father. So if if something were to happen, that would go to the father. If that parent's not there, it's usually it's a list of people before it would be me. So that's with every situation, with all of them. So, and I appreciate my baby mamas because they're open when it comes to what's going on in their lives. Like Amber and Jessica, they let me know everything that's going on with the kids, graduation, recital, everything, because probably like 98% of the stuff is probably like during the week or something, and I can't make it. But if I can make it and I'm able to get on that highway and go see them, I will. You know, um, they always know that I'm here for them. Call, text, hop on the computer, FaceTime, whatever they need, and they need to hit me up, they can hit me up. If I don't have the means to get it, we're gonna figure it out. We will figure it out. If I don't got the money, somebody else got the money. I know somebody that's got it. We're gonna figure out what it is that you need, and we will get it for you. You know,
Is that overwhelming for you, having that much responsibility from so many different sources?
it is, but we're a village. Like
Mhm.
even like with some of them, they don't know each other like that or whatever, but I used to every year, especially when they were younger, because I wanted to build that relationship with them. When Christmas would come around, we would all come together and they would all come to my house and we would spend like a few days here, and I would set up crafts and stuff for them to do, and all the kids would be able to
Cooking and all that
bond
stuff.
and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It sounds
Like
like you've got quite a talent for it.
Child, it's a challenge. It is because it's a lot of them and they are spread out. Um, they're all in Tennessee though, so but um I'm either way, it's a village, and I'm not doing it alone. I still,
Mhm.
all the mothers are here. You know, they're here to help. Even the fathers, they help out too, with a lot of them. So,
Good.
grandparents, I always try to
Yeah.
keep that door open to all of them because I need to know you just in case something happens. And
Mhm.
if I have to step up to do that role, then I need to know you. I need to know, your thoughts on things, and if I gotta raise them, what do you think? Or
Mhm.
something happens
Yeah.
to Amber, something happens to Zach, I need to know like how you would want them raised or whatever, which either way, shoot,
Got to have good
Mhm.
communication.
yeah.
I do have a question about that when you mentioned challenges. So, how can you have an effective relationship with your godchildren if, say, you fall out with their mother?
So me and Amber had a falling out.
Mhm.
And when it came to that, because Amber and Jessica are really close, Jessica will always keep me in the loop.
Mhm.
If I couldn't talk to her directly, sometimes I would talk to Zach.
Mhm.
Um, Sometimes I would talk to Tam, like just different family members. I would talk to them about them, even though I wasn't able to be in their lives at the time. I was still in their lives. Like I
Mhm.
always checked on them because
So you
they my
held
kids.
up with the responsibility,
Say that
even
again.
though you guys, you held up with the responsibility of it and you really took it to heart
Yes,
instead of being like, oh, I fell out, doesn't matter
yes.
anymore. You wanted to
Now
be there.
Yeah.
I did recently have a falling out with somebody, and I don't know with that situation how that would go. And when I counted those god kids, I didn't include him in the number because it would be 11 with him. Because I recently just became godmother to my god sister's child, so it would be 11 if he's included. But like the
Mhm.
falling out with that was really, really big, really big. So
How?
it's but if he were to reach out because he has my phone number, like my
Mhm.
number doesn't change. She has my phone, my number don't. I don't care.
Yeah.
His grandparents have my number. His uncle, like the whole family has my number. So if it is a situation where he needs me, no matter what, I'm gonna do what I need to because me and her did have a falling out before, and to me it wasn't big enough to be like I was just like okay,
Mhm.
I don't want to deal with you. But anytime that she called me, that when they were living in town, she would call me and be like, "Hey, I need you to go pick him up." I would drop what I needed to
Mhm.
do to go pick him up and do what I needed to do, drop him off. You know, I would just do what I had to do. But this falling out, I'm
Yeah.
really not sure. But
I'm sorry to hear
like
that.
yeah, like I said, if he needs me, then I'll be there.
Mhm. Well, I have a question for maybe both of you, whoever can answer, but relating to that, um, whether you, whatever the role is you have with that child, be it like a aunt, uncle, grandparent, parent, step parent, whatever the role is, when you build the bond with that child and then you and the parents sever, how how can you effectively maintain a relationship with that role and that child without um bringing in the issues with the parent or overstepping the parent? How do you navigate that as in your role? How do you keep that up?
Well, I wouldn't really know because
Mm.
It certainly sounds complicated.
yeah,
Yeah, that's why I'm like, wait, how do you? Because
because
mentally it's a lot, and it's not the child's fault, and you
right.
want the child up.
Right.
How do you? That's like a hard balance, isn't it?
Well,
Definitely.
there was a lot going on with the whole situation even before the falling out that had to do with
Mm,
me and him. But because I love him and like
mm,
his first words was Ray Ray. Like
Oh,
it was not mama, it was not daddy, it was grandma.
yeah,
So
that's
like
special.
no matter what, I'm gonna have that bond with him. But
Mhm.
he's definitely going through the early teenage years of being acting out, being very
But
disrespectful.
maybe he'll
So it's
come
just one of those
around.
things where um I feel like when a child goes to different levels,
Hmm.
um, because I'm not directly their parent and their parents are still here, I talk to the parent if there are new things presented as far as
Okay.
behavior. I like to talk to the parent first and be like, I might say something to the child and be like, you're wrong for this, and
Mm.
correct them. But I'm gonna step to the side and talk to the parent because the agreement is between me and the parent. So I'm gonna try
But
to
if you
talk
have a
to
falling out, how is that possible? How
Yeah.
can you keep that up if you're having a falling out? That's what
Would
I'm
you be
like.
able to kind of
How?
set the problems aside and communicate directly about the child?
Yeah, could you and said parent just strictly have it's about the child relationship at that point? Or is it severed all the way? Like how that's so interesting.
honestly.
Mm.
um, I don't know.
In a
Um,
perfect world, maybe.
I feel like I can through her mother, which is the child's
Like
grandmother.
for
So
just
if
people
like
knowing,
I
yeah.
said, if need be, she
Okay.
they know where I live, they know my number. No, nobody's blocked. The mother is, but everybody else is not.
So
His uncle
basically
has actually been over here since. I've run into them several times. I talked to them. I asked them about
mm,
him, and like I said, um, I don't even know if he still has his phone or he's gotten in trouble where he doesn't have his phone. But like, he hasn't reached out to me to talk to me.
oh, well, without like putting the business of the situation all the way out there, we're
Mhm.
just generically talking like um how would you with anyone, not just that person, just anyone, how would you set up the precedents for relationships with a child going forward with anyone? Like if you feel there's some bad blood, you feel it going down, where would you then like present like, hey, we need to talk, I see things are
Yeah,
going this way, we might not be cool anymore, but the child is our child. Like how
right.
do you do that?
I feel like that's a conversation I would probably need to have with the parents.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, like I said before, when we had that falling out,
Mm-mm.
I still had access to. I had way more access to him then when
Okay.
he was younger and stuff. Um, I would go like sometimes she would text me and let me know, hey, he's with his grandparents, and I would go over there and spend time with him. So I feel like if it was one of those things, if there was like, say me and you got into it or whatever, I'd be like, listen, we need to just sit down and discuss these kids real quick, and
Mm.
we'll
Yeah.
figure out a way better than what we did this this last time.
Yeah.
Better
Yeah.
to where it's not a total disconnect, and just try to make sure they're good. I'll be able to still talk to the child and have that
That bond, keep
relationship.
the bond going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it doesn't mess with them, because I feel like that would mess with them. You know,
That too, and it is an
because it would be like losing
emotional yo-yo.
a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah, understanding. Like, uh, hopefully as we all grow mature, not just as women but just as a species as a whole, we can start to look into certain situations the way we would want to receive those situations, so maybe we can not be heartless and maybe a little bit more empathetic navigating, like, maybe this might require more in-depth conversation, more in-depth questions, so we can all understand and all get to the same page. Like, cool, our water has run dry, but y'all's haven't. Something, some kind of maturity in that. But I did want to also touch base. How does the godparent role differ from the aunt role?
I don't think it really does, because to me it's just another way of parenting. So Not really. I don't feel like.
So you feel that your role is consistent regardless of the title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think it'll be the same being a biological parent?
I feel like a lot of people have told me um they feel like um I don't know, it's different. It's different because I've heard it two different ways. I've heard, when I have my kids, when I have kids myself and I birth them, it's going to be a
Mhm,
different type of love. But then I've heard people
mhm,
say they birth their kids, but then when their niece or nephew comes into the world, it's like a whole different love. So I feel like it's
mhm.
more or less like timing. Um,
Mm,
yeah, I think it depends on if you're the parent or the aunt first. So
yeah.
me being aunt first, when my niece and my nephew were born, I cried like a baby. Like I was in there bawling, and I was in there. Why am I crying? Oh my god! So I don't know if I'll have the same reaction with my kids, which I probably will.
Mhm.
But
Birth is something. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
you're gonna cry.
something. Mhm,
so I don't know. I don't know if the love is gonna feel more or about the same.
mhm,
Because honey, I'll go to war for my nieces and nephews and my god
mhm.
kids. Because you seen where there was trouble in the school, and I was like, do I need to come up there? I got
Yep.
my car and everything because don't play with my kids. I will fight you.
Right. Right. So with that perspective, um, am I saying have I been saying your name wrong this whole entire time? Andrea? Is it Andrea or Andrea?
It's Andrea.
And
Andrea. So it's I had a mix. Andrea.
You
Okay.
know, Andrea
Andrea.
is really pretty, so you can keep saying it if you want.
Really, Andrea? Cause I was like, oh, Andrea.
you was looking at the
So
spelling like,
excited.
hold on now, you had me calling you the wrong name the whole time.
Oh, the whole
Trust me,
time, yeah.
people have been mispronouncing my name for as long as I've existed. It doesn't bother me anymore.
Okay, so our resident Andrea for y'all is Andrea, but for me, Andrea. um, so you have just entered into parenthood. So you're our new parent. I would be the seasoned parent, and Raya would be the sideline parent. So, how explain to our viewers and our listeners what it's like to go from being young and free, independent to boom, a mom.
It's an intense change. Because before I had my child, everything was like, I'm going to do whatever I want when I want to, and not worry about it. But ever since I had my daughter, it's
Mm.
been everything is about her. Everything I do,
Mm.
every word I say, every breath I breathe has
Mm.
my daughter at its core.
Yeah, yeah.
See, and I
So
think
that would lead into parental identity. What is parental identity? That's what us parents would like to fucking know. What is it? Because as soon as we become a parent, that seems to be all we are from then on is parent, this child's mom, this child this. It's all about the kids feeding, sheltering, clothing, events, doctors, every single thing becomes about them. And after a while, you realize I am a robot on autopilot and I don't even have a name anymore. It is mom.
Yeah.
What is parental identity?
I think that it would be trying to maintain your own identity while also keeping a huge part of you as a parent, as a caregiver.
So staying responsible as in providing for the child, teaching the child, nurturing the child, but also staying true to you, your values, your wants, your needs, still nurturing yourself as well. So finding a delicate balance because parenting that role is the toughest non-paying job ever.
All encompassing.
Very every aspect. If you're a parent, a very attentive parent, you're a CEO. You're running the show.
Yeah,
You are running the show,
I
literally.
definitely got a taste of that when my nephew was born. Um,
Yeah.
my sister was dealing with postpartum, and
Mm.
child, I was the parent. Like I was the one getting up. Like she couldn't even like really
It's
get up to
hard.
feed him. She tried to breastfeed, but like Child, it is
It's
hard.
so hard.
Getting
It's
up in the
so
middle of the
hard
night, like every time he cries and stuff. Sometimes I like wake her up and be like, "Come on now!" Like I try to help her out, but like
because you
child
got to do it.
getting up and then going to work and then coming back, like
Literally running on fumes just to keep this
child.
little human machine alive.
And then
You're running on
y'all being
fumes,
in
yes,
school and then
and
doing that,
work.
especially Andre with a 1 year old child.
It's
Oh,
hard.
oh
It
my
is so hard.
goodness.
That's why my motto right now is I will sleep when I'm dead. Like everybody says, how are you always doing so much? I became a mom around the age of 20, I believe, and ever since then, it's been work, school, clean, cook, this, that, this, that. If I have idle time, I am a failure. It doesn't matter if somebody else says no, you're not. You're doing all this. It doesn't matter. If I have idle time, something's not getting done. I am a failure. I can't sleep. I sleep when I'm dead. If I sleep now, no one eats.
I'm just like, we cannot have the same 24 hours in a day, child. We can't.
Mm-mm.
There's no way. 24 hours in one day, it's not enough. It's not enough.
No, it's not.
Mine is well structured, yet at the same time, you must not be a slave to time. Time is what ruins you. Time is what ages you.
Yeah,
Time is what stresses you. Time is made up. It's a man-made structure. It's a construct that's not real. Time is not
yeah,
real. Literally, you can get it all done if you don't think about the time
right,
constrictions. And that's
right.
what's been kind of helping me, even though I have to have a schedule. I have to clock in at my normal jobs,
Yeah,
and then I have other things. I do have time limits, but
it's
I
the
cannot let the
timelines that
time.
get you.
I
Like,
cannot. If
oh,
I
you gotta have
yeah,
this by this time, and it's like, oh my god.
I have to put it out. Yeah, put the time, the deadlines out of the
Mhm.
way.
Yeah,
I have a to-do list of things that need to be done. I have like 4 or 5 or 8 to-do
right.
lists for all my projects. I do. And my to-do lists are always growing, but I just go down the list. And if I can't get it done, I can't get it done. Unless it's my clock in, clock out, actual like corporate job type things.
Hmm.
I just go down the
Right.
list. It's gonna get done eventually, and
You just be
it's
like,
gonna
I'll do
have
this
good
for a little while,
quality.
this little bit, then come back, a
Just
little bit, little bit, little bit.
just do it like
Yeah.
that. It's the only way I can balance sanity wise. It's the kind of pinball, ping pong, pinball machine, whatever. It's to do it. Just to go back and forth, back and forth.
Yes.
Just do a little bit here, do a little bit there. Pay all attention here.
Yeah,
you
because
So
I
know,
here's
feel
the real question: how many hours of sleep do you get a night?
me technically on a great night, 4 to 6 hours. On a great night, which I think is about normal. But the good thing is our bodies are not designed to sleep 8 hours through. It's designed to sleep a little bit here and there. So 2 hours
Yeah.
here, a few hours, 2 more hours, 30 minutes or maybe 4 hours here. It's good. So sleeping more frequently, less at a time is better as well for your body. But
it's
I
like
don't nap.
eating.
Yeah, but I don't nap. Like I'll if when I go to lay down, anywhere between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m., I'm up anywhere between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m.
After I gave birth to my daughter, after I had my C-section, I did not sleep for 3 days. And then I was lucky. My daughter started sleeping through the night when she was 6 weeks old. I don't know how some of these people do it, with a baby up all hours of the night for like a year or more. How do you
Yeah.
exist?
Child.
To be honest, having two attentive parents, not and what I mean is not two parents that want to be parents, two parents that actually are parents, actually sacrificing together, not it's not always 50-50, sure, but if I'm tired, he's up. If he's tired, I'm up. Switching, it's talking, communicating, knowing that we are in a role for that. I'm a father or I'm a mother, so that means also helping out the other parent as well. So active communication. Also work schedules. Say, my husband worked. I was in school and working. Then I flipped. I would be working while he'd be in school. That means we would, okay, so if you're working today, and I'm just in school, I'm up. If I'm working today, you're in school, just communicating and really just
Yeah.
not putting it all on one person,
Yeah.
because the mother isn't the only parent. Just because she's carrying the baby doesn't mean she's the one feeding, she's the one changing, she's the one getting up. No,
Yeah.
you're going to get your ass up too, because you created this child too. You're
Right.
getting your ass up, and that's going to be the tagline we can use as. I mean, get your ass up, because you lay down. You lay down too.
And
Get your
look,
ass
with
up.
the single
Another,
parents, with the single parents,
Mm,
that's why you have to build a village of people
you
around.
do.
yeah.
You have to be there. You have to understand that you need people that are going to be there if you cannot. Like if something happened
Exactly.
and you cannot, that's me. You know,
Yeah.
you have to really, especially with younger people, you have
Mhm.
to really sit down and evaluate your friends, because I have
Mm.
seen where people have friends and then they get pregnant and then they disappear like a mug. You
Preach.
That's what happened to me.
find those solid people, and at the end of the day, it's usually your family.
Preach.
It's usually
Another
your
thing
family.
that
So
I think we should
push your
touch
family
on,
away.
I'm sorry to interrupt you,
Are you good?
is the fact that postpartum depression really knows no gender. My husband had postpartum depression after we had
Really?
our daughter.
Oh
Yeah.
See,
wow.
that is something to mention, because I like to highlight men's voices. And that is something that is not a popularized fact, that
Yeah.
men, not only do they have postpartum depression, they also have pregnancy symptoms. They
They do.
also,
Hmm.
fathers have very much, very innate biological elements to them that aids in this whole process, and that should be explored more and talked about more, and that should be more open, because um that's gonna be where those intuitions come in when it comes to forging a plan for caring for baby when baby's crying overnight.
I feel like
Did
it's
you
more on the spiritual aspect,
is
when it comes to that, because if it's somebody
both
that just hit and quit, they don't have that same connection. But if somebody
true,
actually love and stuff, with
true,
their sperm going into you, and that's part of you now. So like it's a
yeah,
connection that's on a spiritual level to where
that
it makes it like that.
that is 100% correct, because what I was going to say, which I'm pretty sure you probably didn't know, but in extreme circumstances, say, if I was to get pregnant right now, like to go into labor right now, and
Mhm.
say, like, maybe I died in delivery, and now baby has to be brought with dad. Did you know dad could produce breast milk to feed baby? Yeah, dad can do that. So it is so important. This is why these topics need to be really talked about and really out there, because dads have that ability to step in and fulfill that strictly mom role in that aspect, and really continue to nurture baby through those first few moments of life.
Hmm.
Did you
Mm,
feel like your husband, when you had your children, had a really strong emotional connection from the beginning, or was it something that had to be developed?
I feel like it's both. Definitely I feel both. Anytime, first of all, anytime a man chooses to have a baby with you, chooses to have a baby with you, key. When a man chooses to step into those roles with you, um, he already has that bond with you. So you're creating something out of your love, your bond. So that's already something magical. Seeing my husband specifically um, deal with the placenta, deal with, all the afterbirth, deal with cutting the cord, the first moments of holding baby, seeing all that is complete love in beyond the eye, not just face, not just smiling, but in the eye. It's a little different. It's a little twinkle. It's something different. And you can feel the aura. You can feel, okay, this is pure. It's definitely something that you can tell, no matter who, what, when, time, whatever, that is undeniably unbreaking, you know
Hmm.
and then it just develops. It just, the more they grow together and learn things together, bond over music, movies, games, just life, it just keeps getting that you can feel it strong and strong and strong. Like, oh yeah, this is not going anywhere because dad chose all of this. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't a forced thing. It wasn't like a one night, now you're a parent, all this. It from choosing. It's like manifesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's destined, not because we were drinking and smoking. Yeah.
I feel like my husband, apart from the postpartum depression, so he didn't really feel a strong connection with our daughter at first. But
Mm-hmm.
as
Yeah.
time has gone on, those two, they just mesh. They just click.
Yeah.
They just love each
I
other to
love
death.
it. And I think it was because of the postpartum that it was masking it. It was probably already there, which is why it's
Yeah.
that strong. And he already had that love, but postpartum is such a evil thing that it really clouds everything. I had my first bout of postpartum with my first child. I had no idea what was going on, just sitting around a room with a family, holding baby, showing off baby, and then just hit me like a ton of bricks, and I just cried, and I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. And my grandma was like, "You're having postpartum." I'm like, and then it's just so strong.
Because it's not
So
talked about. It was It definitely wasn't talked about.
never, it never is, and that's why I think our platforms are so important to talk about the truth, the realness, not the hallmark. What is it really? Stop putting it under the rug. We have so many people out here stepping into these roles that have always been closeted and pushed under the rug and not fully explored and talked about. And there's people who have no idea what they're getting into, have all these expectations on them. How can we expect you to be a really good parent if you were never told what it entails? You're supposed to assume and fulfill the role. Crap. It's cap. It's just we can't continue to talk about people if we're not going to teach people and guide people.
Mm-hmm.
What is being an effective parent? Being an effective parent, it does not mean spoiling your child, giving them every single thing that they
Right.
want and all this stuff. Being an effective parent, teaching your child how to think for themselves, basic instincts, cooking, cleaning, and more than that, how to be an adult as well, like how to manage your money, how to have future success. It is not just about the full nurture, love. It is more business than love. Honestly, you're raising a human. So
Right.
you have to teach a person how to be a human, a
That's,
productive human in society for other humans.
that's
Preparing them to meet
yeah.
the real
Yes.
world.
And that's
And not
another that's
living them
another
off.
reason why I really try not to have kids too young, is
Mhm.
because I was always told, like I've always been an observer and a listener, so it was just more or less I would hear, and I was always around older people, so
Mhm.
I would hear them say different ways of how to parent your kids, and because it's just a village of women sitting around talking about different things, and I was just like,
Mhm.
wow, it's more than just feeding your kid, make sure they get potty trained and da da da, make sure they go to school. Like, no, you gotta teach them values of life.
Yeah.
I
You
took
gotta teach them everything.
Yeah, I took that, and I was like, I would like to sit back and watch how other people parent and get, so that when
Yes.
I have a child, it's just not like on survival mode type thing.
Yeah.
It's like I want to get the education in it and try to raise you as best as I can. No, it's not going to be perfect no matter how much education you get about it,
Right.
because everybody's different. Every human is different, you know. But I would at least like to be pretty well educated and old enough to be like, oh, okay, yeah, no, not some young person trying to make it work. If I don't have to, why put myself in a position to? So
I agree. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And then there's the idea that a perfect parent doesn't exist, but then society has multiple different perspectives on who is a good parent and why. And so there's a lot of expectation on you as soon as you have a child, and it's crushing because everybody could find anything wrong with your parenting style just depending
yep,
on
Mhm.
who they are.
yep.
Oh my God.
No matter how you raise your kids, somebody gonna find a problem with it.
Yeah.
It's just like
I,
decisions in life, period. No matter what
the
you do,
one
no
thing,
matter how golden your heart is and how sweet you
yes.
are, somebody gonna find
There's
a problem with it.
mm-hmm. What grinds my gears is when you are presented with a mother that is never mothered. She's just been a birther. And
Yeah,
everybody else has been a motherer. And then that mother has the nerve, the audacity to tell you how you're such a horrible mother, but you're there in baby's life doing all the mothering things all day, every day. And this mother gave birth and had her family raising all the kids. How dare you say something and you haven't mothered yourself,
right.
mother?
You ain't mother
That
nothing. I was
grinds my
mothering your
gears.
kids as a kid.
If oh, that grinds my gears. You cannot speak from what is it, from a assumption or from like a movie if
Yeah,
you're just a birther. So
right.
birthers, if you're just a birther, stay in a birther's place. Please do not give mothering advice unless you've taken on a role to mother someone's child, be it your own or a community. If you just popping out a child baby, hold your advice.
Yeah. If you haven't actually lived the experience, keep your mouth shut.
The way that you put that,
That
because I hate
is
when
it.
people like, if you don't have your own kids,
It's
you
that's
know how
and
many
that's
kids
not
I
what I'm
have.
saying.
Yeah,
Ju-
I like the way
So
you
yeah,
explained it.
yeah,
Yes, because I be telling people, but like, hold on
yeah.
now, you
Yeah,
didn't had all these kids, and I'm telling you what to do, and you use my
exactly.
advice. So the way
And
you explained it, yes, if you've never tried to help
yeah,
nobody with their kid, don't matter if you birthed the kid or not. If you ain't never tried to help in no kind of
if you've
way,
never been
you
in
just
that
come with your
role,
opinions at
hmm,
me. Hold your opinions, baby. Hold your opinions.
please,
Yeah.
because it everybody, just like you do anything, your job, music, songwriting, anything that's ever done, yes, it could be similar even down to 99%, but
Mhm.
everyone is different and everybody's going to do it differently. So
Mhm.
therefore parenting will be done differently. You might not like how I speak to my kids or how we do things, but you appreciate how my kids are mannerable, respectful, how they do things. You appreciate my children out in society because of how I've raised them, whether or not you agreed with me or not. You
Mhm.
appreciate how my children are upbringed or how they're brought up. So therefore, I will not ever judge another parent for how they're parenting unless it's just obviously
Like
you
you
know,
doing
you know,
ish.
but other than that, I can't because we all have different walks of lives, different experiences that bring different perspectives to parenting. As long as you are getting a child out into this world that can think for themselves, can complete tasks, can be respectful and be empathetic, I'm cool.
And then there's the fact that a lot of parenting is not your timeline, it is your child's timeline, and every
That
kid is different.
Mhm.
That yes, and like I have three kids. Each one of them are different. I parent each one of them different, and everybody in the world says that my baby is my favorite. That's not the case. It's really not the case, and I don't care what anyone says because I
Mhm.
know I don't care. It's not the case. It's just the style of parenting with him is so vastly different from the
Yes,
other two that
and
it just looks that way, but
and
it's not.
from seeing you being pregnant to, well, I wasn't there to when you physically gave birth, but I was there
Yeah,
after at in the hospital
yeah,
and stuff, and then when you get home and throughout the years, like I could definitely say, like just from seeing you, I don't feel like some people be like parents have a favorite. I feel like they just love on different levels.
that's
Well,
it.
it's the same love, but it's different. You have to love them differently.
I love them with
Like
from their love languages. I
Dre's the
love them according to
oldest,
them.
There you
so
go.
the oldest you're gonna love them on a different level. Period.
Period.
Then Jay
Period.
is the only girl, and then Mikey's the baby. So it's
Yeah. It's
like
different.
you
It's
have
so different.
the three forms, and it's just like it's just you just gotta love them differently, but the same,
And
same love.
I yeah, I like that you see that. I definitely love my kids the way they love to be loved. If my
Yes,
kid does not want to be touched,
touch,
I'm
don't
not
touch
touching them
them.
all the time. If
Yes,
my
Absolutely.
kid doesn't want, my kid doesn't want this kind of attention, they're not getting that. If the other
yes.
kid wants that, that's what they're getting. So
Mhm.
no, Amber does not have favorites. You just have fucked up thinking when it comes to
Yeah,
parenting,
and
and that's just it.
the thing is, people like to cross the kids' boundaries because they're their kid, and it's like no,
That.
Because then you do that, and then they go out into the world and let people cross those boundaries because they think, oh, they love me, they can cross those boundaries. No,
And that is
they
one
don't
thing
have
that
boundaries.
exactly. That is one thing that I'm very big on. We touched base in the last live podcast, but I've had plenty solo podcasts that have put my business out there, sort of. So my upbringing was a very traumatic upbringing. So the way I parent my children, I parent from a traumatic perspective, also with a partially healed perspective because I'm always healing. So I will never ever cross my children's boundaries if they don't want something. I'm not forcing them to hug me. I'm not forcing them to kiss me. I'm not forcing them to do that. The only thing I'm forcing them to do is clean.
Clean
That's
up.
it. That's it. Because at the end of the day, you have to remember how it was when you were a kid and all of your boundaries were crossed by your parents just because they gave birth to you, how they can lie to you, how they can use you, and how it's okay. They're narcissistic about it, manipulative about it, gaslighting about it, and you know how you feel being grown. Now you're being an adult and you still carry the weight of that. I'm not doing that to my child. My child does not want all that. Within reason, I'm still going to hug them. I'm still going to give them those kind of affections, but I'm not going to overkill them with that. They don't want to talk that much. I will talk to you as much as you allow me to talk to you. I will hug you as much as you allow me to hug you. When you say it's over, it's over. But kids need to be respected. Kids' boundaries, especially, need
Yes.
to be respected. Kids need to be nurtured. Their ideas, their thoughts, they need to be spoken to like they matter because they do matter. Children were not born to be house slaves or to be whatever the fall guys. Kids are not like that. So I just parent each of my children like humans that I love and respect because I do love and respect them.
A lot of people don't think that kids have the presence of mind to have boundaries, but
Mhm.
they do. They're little people. They're just people.
Yeah,
Because I tell you
they
what,
feel the same way
my
we
nephew
feel.
would say stuff, and I'd be like, you are. He just turned 6. You are
Mhm.
6. Like, it's just crazy. If
Yeah.
you sit down and just listen to kids like talking, they're
Hmm.
just like us, just
They
in
are.
a smaller, just their mind hasn't developed to the point of ours. But if you sit
Yeah.
down and watch them talk, like they be talking just like us, just
Yeah.
on a different
Yeah.
level, different
And just
level.
think about what you feel is what they're feeling. So say you're sitting in a situation, just say, God forbid, the lights shut off right then and there. Say y'all are watching a show or and you were cooking or something and the lights just shut off. You don't have money to get them turned back on, maybe because it's overdue, whatever.
Mhm.
Baby sitting there in that situation when it happens, what does mom do in that moment? Without knowing, through emotion, mom's freaks out, mom's hollers about it, mom does all that. Baby picks up on all that, feels all that. Baby's also upset because show's cut off, food's not ready, baby wants, needs, and all this. Baby's overstimulated, mom's overstimulated. You're feeling big emotions. Baby's feeling the same emotions you're feeling
Mhm.
times 50 because baby don't know. So
Right.
you have to understand and think just as you're feeling, baby's feeling too. So you have to self regulate yourself, calm yourself down, calm baby down. That's a lot in a situation. So babies, kids are mini us. So just as we're feeling, they're feeling too. So we have to take them into account. How are you feeling? How does this make you feel? Let's
And then
brainstorm and think of another way.
the pain and the emotions that they feel, depending on how old they are, every pain that they feel, every horrible thing they go through is the worst thing they've ever been through. So it's
Yeah.
going to have a depend. It doesn't matter how it really affects us. It more matters how it affects them.
Because it's new.
Right.
It's new to them. So,
Right.
yep.
That is so true. The one thing I always like to tell my kids, which I think I would tell any parent listening. So I had to put my readers on so I could see. But what I like to tell my kids and I would like to tell everyone else is whatever you do does not only affect you, it affects everyone around you. It's what Newton's law. For every action is an equal
It's,
whatever reaction. You know the thing,
Equal
whatever.
or opposite
and
reaction.
you,
There you
you
go.
know,
You know
you
it.
used to preach that to them when they were kids, and they
You
would do
remember?
stuff, and they would get in trouble, and they'd be upset about it. And I would explain to them, you
Mhm.
know what? To every action is a reaction. I said, so no matter every decision that you make, there's something that's going to happen after that. When you go out
Mhm.
and do this, guess what? Something's gonna happen because of that. So think about what you're doing before you do it. I
Yeah,
understand you're young and you're just learning, but think if I run
but
over
yeah.
here and slip and slide and you bust your tail, I mean, if I go do this, mom's gonna be mad. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Like I'll be
A
talking to kids
quote
like that.
a quote from my favorite book is, before you do anything, think of it in a newspaper headline.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes, I like that. Is this something that you will be okay with having attached to you multiple
mhm,
years from now,
And
doing
that
what you're
everyone can
doing?
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
But to add on to what I was saying with that equal or opposite reaction, whatever, was basically what it doesn't only just affect you, it affects people around you. So like, say we vented something in the podcast. Sure, it was released for us right now in this moment, but what did we vent? Now, who's that affecting? Our words are venting. Now we have this out in the way. Now, not only is it affecting them, but maybe somebody else that they know that may have been on. Like, think about when you say or do something, or like when my kids are out in the public and say they do something stupid, I'm like, okay, this doesn't only come back on you. You did it
Mhm,
here. Say if you stole something in a store, now I have to be called in. What am I doing? Am I getting called from work now? Do I have to lose time from work, which means I'm losing money, which means am
mhm,
I not paying a bill? Come on now, and you need this. You want to sleep tonight, so you have to start thinking when you go out to do something. The domino effect of that is 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 this going to cause somebody else detriment? Is this going to
mhm.
make them lose their house, lose their job? Is this going to make them possibly lose me, their child? Are they going to go to jail? You have to think of other people's life. It's not just you in this,
Right.
whether you want to call this a simulation or whether you want to call this real, it doesn't matter. We're all here.
Mhm.
So why do we have to make it worse for everyone else just so we can be happy? Why can't
Right.
we all work together so we're all okay? Because we're all in this.
Mhm.
I don't know, man. I'm just a girl here. A woman. I'm just a woman here with the idea like, hey, think,
Amber, you
think.
brought up something interesting a minute ago that I thought we might be able to touch on, which is, we all have our own traumas, right? And especially you
Hmm.
mentioned you had a traumatic childhood. Trying to break that cycle and keep yourself from putting your child through something that you may have been through is one of the most important parts of being a parent.
Yeah, it it's one of the hardest things, and it's also the most judgmental thing that you can go through as a parent. um it's definitely hard because, for one, you have to shadow work. You have to sit with whatever the trauma was and see it for what it is, not the emotion, which is hard to take the emotion out of it. But you have to see it for what it is so you can truly educate yourself. Therefore, you can educate your child on potentials. What is the potentiality of this? It's also difficult because even you see this trauma that you are aware of, and you're wanting to differentiate and break that cycle. You're also inadvertently bringing up a new trauma to your child. And I recently understood that I could have, maybe it was in my head, maybe not, but the potentiality of, you may become more neglectful in other areas. And so in
Mm.
one way you could be really great, really attentive, but drop the ball in other areas. It's only so much you can process at one time. So yeah, I may be trying to prevent my kids from being like molested or abused or something like this, but am I also neglecting them in certain areas in this way too? Or is certain things of my triggers and my trauma causing me to be neglectful? So like, I don't like to be around a lot of people, and sometimes touches affect me. Is that like, is me being introverted or me being scared of crowds going to potentially neglect them for an event that they have to do, or me not wanting to be touched in a moment is triggering? Is that also going to trigger them and create trauma for them? Like, maybe I'm hurting but mom won't hold me. So it's a lot of, it's a up and it's a down, and I'm always going to be judged for how I handle each moment. And sometimes I don't talk. Sometimes I can just walk in a room and just do things and leave. And it's like it was just a shell of amber. So there's a lot of things that I feel like I'm creating more trauma for my children in, even though I'm preventing trauma. So it's a never ending battle for me. And I don't know what's in my head because of trauma, mental illness. I don't know what I'm creating and what's a reality in that. And that's also hard.
Yeah,
Very
definitely.
hard. I
I've
almost cried.
definitely I've I've definitely seen those moments in you sometimes. Um, and there's been moments where especially when they were younger, when they weren't cleaning up the room and stuff would be everywhere, and we had to go through there, and I would have to pull you to the side and talk to you about things and be like, listen, I know this and that, but you know
Hmm.
you need to do this. So definitely I understand where you're coming from, because
It's
it's
very
easy
difficult.
to more or less do what you think would be a necessity
Mhm.
versus trying to juggle out everything to make sure everything gets done, because you're hyper focused on this one. So
Hmm.
It's an insanely delicate balance for sure.
hmm yeah.
Very much. And it's one of those things where I wish empathy was more commonplace. People feel like being empathetic is, "Ooh, I'm crying," y'all, is like bitching out or this or that. But no, like the situation, people tend to only care when it's them in the situation.
hmm
So it's just like, then that's why the domino effect, the thinking of other people, if I do this or if I place this judgment, what is this judgment really saying?
right.
Like it's so difficult. It's so difficult. And I'm always judged. And in the same token of being judged, I'm also like, you're amazing. I don't know how you do all this good shit. And then I hear this and honestly, I'm always in the back, like, sounds good, all cap. When I hear all this good stuff, I'm like, sure. But at the same time, I remember all this. I have a laundry list of all the complaints that you filed against me, the judgments that you have against me. But then now you're in my face smiling when
hmm
something's going good and you think you can get a piece of it,
right.
or if I'm graduating or if I'm doing something great coming up, then, oh, I've always been there, I've always been supporting this and that. No, you've always been there to judge. You're
Yeah.
always judging and only supporting when you can benefit off the support. Other than that, I'm crappy any other time. You want my kids taken, right? But it's not right. It's not right because when you're in those situations, you're going to be mad when somebody's judging you harshly
Mhm.
because they don't know all the facts. It doesn't make sense to do that.
And
We
then
all are fucked up.
sometimes when people do that, it's because they're dealing with their own stuff and they're lashing out on
Projections.
you.
Yeah,
Hmm.
So it's
that's
like
Project.
you
projecting.
want to snap on them and stuff, and then it's just kind of like, if I do that, then I'm projecting. So it's just like,
Yeah.
you understand
I
what they're
can't see,
coming
and
from,
this
but
is
at the
fogging
same
up
time,
sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah.
you good. It's like you want to snap on them, but then you understand at the same time. So it's like
Yeah.
you battling with that while you are dealing with the initial battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have made a statement saying, like, when I get judged in certain things like that, I don't think too much. Of course, everybody takes judgments
hmm
and gets hurt off of it. I don't care how strong you say you are. Words cut and words do affect even when you say they don't, because they come back around.
Oh
But
yeah.
regardless, um, what I what I don't understand, and this hurts so bad. What I don't understand is how someone can do that, be in the same situation, and beg for everyone to support them, beg for everyone, to be on them, be in that same situation or all the other things, support, help me through this mental, help me, I got trauma, help me this and that. But then before that, they're so putting someone down. After that, they go back to putting someone down. But in that moment, they want everyone to rally around them.
Mm,
It's like when you're speaking, it's only important because you're speaking.
mm,
You know,
yeah.
um, I was gonna say something before, but my ADHD had trailed it off. I don't know what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
don't know
understand
what
that.
that
Well,
was.
I'm sorry that this part of the conversation has upset you.
It's okay. It's okay.
Are you
It's
okay?
okay. I really am okay. That's what I was gonna say. Damn it! It left as soon as I said that's what I was gonna say. I can't stand it. Hold on, it's like tiptoeing. I really I'm having a problem, guys.
You said again, Shara. I mean, Andrea.
Yeah, say it again so I can remember because it was a.
I asked if you were okay.
No, before that you said something else.
Okay, I said that I was sorry that this part of the conversation may have upset.
Maybe it wasn't something you said.
It'll come back. It'll come back later when you're like doing something unrelated to this. You'll be like, "Fuck, that's what I was gonna say."
I was gonna say, somebody had told me this recently about the words hurting or whatever. People always say, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt
That's
me."
bullshit. That's
yes,
bullshit.
And I want to say it was my pastor, and I think he said, yes, people like to say that saying, but the thing about sticks and stones is you can heal those things because they're on the outside. There was like feelings, words, they stick with you for a lifetime.
Yes.
No matter
I remember.
if you're later down the road and somebody says something and it reminds you of that will always stick with you. And even if you forgive those people, you will not forget those words
ever. That's what I was. Okay, segue into what I remember now. So I was having a conversation and we was talking about the whole judgment and everything, and I said, I don't take those judgments like that. Of course, they hurt, but I don't take them like that because they're coming from someone not healed. So it doesn't really matter, that judgment. And then it was stated, well, then you're still making a judgment. I don't know if that's okay, whatever along the lines. But the thing was, I'm not necessarily making a judgment as you would try to say in that situation. I was not making a judgment. I'm saying they're not fully healed. So what they're saying is there's no value in that for what I'm going through, because I'm not fully healed, but I am healing. I'm on the journey. So I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm understanding. This person has not even stepped in there. They're speaking out of hurt. They're speaking out of trauma. They're speaking out of stagnant.
Exactly.
They're not speaking from a different place. So therefore, those words are meant to hurt because that's unhealed. They're meant because misery loves company. That's at that place. So when somebody's speaking from that place, it doesn't matter. It really has no merit, no value. I don't care. You're just talking at this point. So therefore, I only care when we're all in it in the same spot. Are you on your journey? What do you have to add to this? Let's speak. Let's communicate. If you're not on your journey, you don't have any value to add because you're not willing. You're willing to be stuck, and you want people to agree with you. You want people to, what's the word, enable you. And I'm in a healing, and I'm in a healing journey. So I only care about other people that are also in a healing journey in this moment, because that's going to elevate. That's going to be what's going to change.
So that's them speaking from hurt, not
and like they feel like I'm judging because they're judging. What is it? What do you do when you're presented? When mama says, hey, did you take this, and you are caught red-handed, you're going to lie and say no, but mama knows you took it. That's the same in the situation. You are feeling called out because I said I don't care. It's coming from a place of unhealed. You are feeling attacked, so you feel like you're going to say, but you're judging, so are you much better or whatever. However, you may not have meant it to be like that, but that's coming out as not me, put it back on you.
It's like they're talking at you instead of speaking to you.
Not listening. This is the thing. The problem is people have a tendency to listen to defend and not listen to understand. If you can hush and listen, you might understand better. And always ask questions to get a better understanding so you can listen even better in the future. Not everything has to be defended, but if you're going to listen to defend, that means you need to sweep your doorstep, clean your closet, lift that rug up, and heal.
Yes.
Just step back. Just step back and tell yourself, just listen to what they have to say, because it might be something you need. And then step back in and be like, okay, go ahead.
Yes, I like to tell my kids, you might not like the person saying something. You might not like how they're saying something, but you might like what they're saying if you just listen. There's a
Mhm.
lot of people I cannot stand, but I listen to them. They
Mhm.
might have something to say and they might say it really fucked up, really mean.
And they'll
I
say
the
something
the
to
thing
you.
about life is you have to remove the emotion. The emotion is your brain's way of filtering things. Emotion is not 100% true to the situation. It's just filters. The fact is what's true to the situation. So listen to the fact, get the full context of the facts. Deal with emotions later if you feel like you need to deal with, oh, you didn't say this or whatever. Deal with that later if you're an emotional person, you want to deal with emotions. But the key to the life is to deal with the facts of the situation. What's the truth? Then go from it. I don't care how you say it to me. You could be saying every other word as a cuss word, but is there facts based in there? Then we
Right.
can
Yeah.
move with the facts. You can say it with a grimace on your face. You can say it with a butcher in your hand. Somebody has said, I'm yelling at you. I'm screaming at you right now. And I look like I'm about to kill you. And you're not scared. And I said, because I'm listening. I know I didn't do anything.
Right.
So I'm listening. What am I to be scared for? Because you're emotional? That's your emotions.
Right.
Anybody can be big, rah, rah. I can be 6 foot when my emotions come out. I don't care about the emotions. I don't care what you have. I know I didn't do anything to you. What are you saying?
Mhm.
Does what you're saying have value? What's the facts? Oh, you're hurt. Then
Right.
let's go from there. Come
Right.
on. It's common humanistic basic stuff that only matters when you're in that situation and you want to woe is me. Why should it only matter when you're experiencing it? Why doesn't it matter, period?
Mhm.
Why can't you extend that if you're dealing with anyone, be it a child, be a friend, well, whoever? Why can't you step into a situation giving how you receive? Give
Right.
love, give understanding,
Or
give
give how you
values.
want to receive.
That's it. The topic is well, welcome Trey. The topic is parenting perspectives, the role of parenting burnout. Uh, Red, you want to recap for Cuz?
I don't even
Your
see anything.
cousin in the chat. Your cousin
My cousin who? I
Trey
can't see the chat.
at the
Oh,
top.
okay.
Click the comments at the top.
Yeah.
Hold on. I had it on full screen.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay. Okay. I see it now. My bad. But yeah, well, I was speaking of, because I don't have any kids. I was speaking from the perspective of being a godparent and my role, and um, like if I have a falling out with the parents, how I would deal with those different situations. Yeah.
You know what? I would like to ask Trey, being a parent, being a father, being a black father. How is parenting, co-parenting, single parenting? How is the role for a black man?
Mm.
And should we give you should we invite him in to talk? You want to talk? Do you want to present? Do you want to be on our podcast today, Trey?
Oh Lord.
Or do you just want to type and Ray will be the
Maybe
reader?
we need to do a part two of this
A part two,
Actually,
because this is
and get
already
ooh,
his
long.
ooh,
story in
right.
full because
Next
yeah.
Yes.
Sunday is Father's Day.
Oh,
So, Trey, can
Would
you
you
answer
like to
that
be a
question for
guest?
Father's Day?
oh, it would be good if we could maybe get him and maybe TJ. Because
Have some fathers. Trey, but for real, Trey, could you answer that question? Could somebody write that question down in our thing? What the question is, who it is. Can you talk about that, Trey? We would
mm-mm.
love that.
Okay.
Again, the question would be a perspective from black male.
From a black
Yes, he's
male
down.
father.
He is down. So we got to give him the link for next Sunday.
Yeah,
But
Trey, talk to TJ too. 'Cause
Oh,
I would love him to be on here too because he plays a major part with his girls, with the
yes.
role with raising his girls. So
And then yeah, I really, and this is not like to slight any other race of male. It's just really to amplify the black male voice, because it's the voice that doesn't get amplified all the time, and when it
right,
does get amplified, it's usually not right. It's usually not a good way. So I want to provide a platform
There you go.
specifically, especially for Black males, to speak of any topic that's important to Black males, just to have it out there. That's what I want to be
Everybody
for the
has a
Black
unique
males.
perspective,
Uh-huh.
so let's
Hmm.
bring some people on.
Right.
That
Right.
anybody.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trey, for
I
being
think
our
that would be a
guest for
good
next
pre-game,
Sunday.
pre-game and be able to sit down and talk to him and uh, get down to some healing because this is the therapeutic journey. Some healing
Yes, there's a
with
reason
some
behind it.
things. Uh-huh.
It's
So,
not just panels and talking of opinions.
mm,
It may be like that for a few episodes here and there, but we do have episodes in mind to actually get into the root of healing. I'm currently working on a shadow work video that is something that we should all get into as our first part of the journey. Honestly, you can't journey without shadow work. That is the journey. So the video
yes,
that we're working on is going to explain what shadow work is and how to partake in that process. I can touch base in group shadow work and solo shadow work as well, but it's something we all need to do to heal, uh, and just really get in tune with ourselves. Shadow working and meditating. Wait, do we have something else? Okay. Whoever's keeping
yeah.
us going.
So, no, no, my bad. Yeah, we're doing the same thing.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I was about to say, yeah, we definitely need to do like a little small meeting during the week and talk about shadow work because I have not touched on that at all. Or maybe I have and don't realize it, and just don't. I didn't have the guide to be like, this is what you need to do, and it's just more or less something that I realized about myself and been working on. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm excited to be able to get it out. It's something. Okay, I've taken my time on it because I want good quality out there. I don't want it to be rushed and then, and I don't want it to be super quick. I know y'all's attention span on TikTok is like 2 seconds, but that's not what this is about. This is going to be depth, like, so you can do it for real, the truth, the honest truth. Don't come to us if you want 2 seconds, unless we're doing an affirmation. We're all about the real, what is true. So look for that, and to be consistent, we will now be doing this show sit down Sunday sit down every single Sunday at 4 p.m. Central. You do your own conversions on that. I'm not a math whiz, but it's 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Central. So look for all of our marketing event flyers on all of our platforms that will be linked in the descriptions. This can be up for replay for 30 days here on Facebook. We will upload this to YouTube and put the audio out on all of the podcasting platforms. I want to thank you for showing up and joining in and listening. And I'm going to let Andrea finish the end up because I don't know what else I'm supposed to say.
Well, we all know that parenting is dynamic. It's a wide topic, and there's so much to say about it that we couldn't possibly put it into an hour-long podcast. But next week is Father's Day, so hopefully we will have your name is Trey. We will have this wonderful Trey, and then you also said TJ as our
Yeah,
guests next week.
hopefully. And that's
Hopefully.
like I said, I wanted to us to sit down and talk to Trey one day during the week, maybe a couple of days if we can't sit down for a long time and talk to him, because like his comment says, there's been a lot of trials and stuff with his kids and the moms and stuff, and he just thanks God, that they're still working on with him through the journey of being a father and stuff. It's it's a it's a journey. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I said I want y'all to sit down and talk to him before we just get on here
Yes.
asking him something because you don't want to really trigger anybody with anything.
Yes.
So yeah, I would really like Trey and maybe TJ because it's like two different outlooks on it on
And we
father.
will do this without speaking of names and
Yes.
too intimate details because, sure, we want you to heal, and healing publicly is cool, but also you got to have some privacy and some anonymity to what's going on. So we will figure a way to get it out there and heal in the best way that we can find possible. We'll
Hmm.
talk it all through to be completely respectful, especially to the children more than anyone
Absolutely.
in the
Yeah.
situation.
Well,
All right.
this was an excellent meeting.
Yes. I,
I like
I I appreciate this. Thank you, Andrea, for your very first intro to our video podcasting. You did wonderful, and
Yes.
she's a very integral part of our team. Guys, you're gonna love her and her videos. Just stay tuned and see what she has in store for us, and keep paying attention to what Raya has going on for you, guys. We're gonna do nothing but grow from here. Thank you for your
Y'all, please,
support.
the
before we
first
close
step of
out,
many.
please share this live. Tell your friends, your family, show up, follow us on all platforms, please.
And
We're
comment
trying to grow
future
our family.
ideas.
Yes,
Yeah.
actually, any
If y'all have
ideas that
ideas,
anybody might have for future podcasts, we would love to know.
yes.
Please, and please, like Rhea said, like, share, comment, just keep our name out there, grow us organically. We want the right people to come to us. We want to make sure that this is the platform, the perfect platform for the right people. So
Yes.
please share, share, share. Comment if you're not too scared. If you're bold enough to comment. But
And we have daily
please,
affirmations, so make sure y'all
yes,
look out for those. I try to share them on my personal page too. That way people can see
yes,
the page and stuff. So share it, please. If
please.
it speaks
Thank
to
you.
you, share it. If you think it's gonna speak to someone else, share it.
And one of our team members will put all of our information in the comments, and it'll also go with wherever this video or audio goes to, so you'll find us wherever. Just keep us alive, please. With that
Yeah.
being said, I would like to conclude this live recording of Sunday Sit Down with the Therapeutic Journey.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.